Sometimes your older siblings turn into your worst nightmare, and at the same time, your younger siblings may be the cringiest thing since sliced bread. If you're an only child, you probably don't understand. G'day there guys, it's your main man Markee, and welcome back to another episode of r/Am I the Arsehole. Now, if you love today's bloody good content, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn of the Barbie, and get ready for some bloody good content after you hit that like button. Let's go. Am I the arsehole for accidentally making my brother cry? I know it sounds bad, but I'm not really sure how to feel about it. For backstory, I'm 17, and my brother, I'll call him Ethan, it's not his real name, is 10. Ever since COVID hit, he's been super annoying and always wanting to spend time with me. I can understand this to a certain degree, as not being able to see his friends as much has made him turn to me more for friendship. But we don't like any of the same things, so it's really hard to relate to him or want to spend time with him. I'm into reading philosophy and listening to classic rock. Ethan likes to play Fortnite and is obsessed with TikTok and rappers like Travis Scott. Anyways, my mom has noticed that he's been trying to spend more time with me, so every Sunday she makes me take him to get lunch or ice cream at one of the neighborhood restaurants. I kind of think that it's a waste of time because it's not going to lead to a friendship or anything because we are so different, but sometimes we've had a laugh or two on these Sunday lunches. Anyways, on to the story. Yesterday we were eating lunch at the diner, and my biggest crush in school walks in and sees us. Immediately, I was already embarrassed to be seen with him, but I tried to keep my cool. My crush comes over and asks if she can sit down, and I say yes. She chats a bit with me, and then tries to get to know my little brother. She asks what he likes to do, and he tells her, I really like playing Fortnite and watching Marvel movies. At this point, I'm rolling my eyes because I doubt my crush even knows what any of that stuff is. And she says, oh, that's so cool, or something like that, but I can tell she's forcing it. I try to change the subject, but she keeps going back to Ethan for some reason. Eventually, she starts asking about his friends, and he says, well, my best friend in the world is my brother, and looks over at me, and I just wanted to sink into my seat. I don't know what came over me, but I said angrily, we're not friends. I'm only hanging out with you because I have to. Of course, he starts to cry and is embarrassing both of us. My crush wasn't really saying anything, so I made something up about needing to bring him home, and I walked back home with him. He told my mum what happened, and my mum grounded me. I'm literally 17, and she is still grounding me. And she said she was disappointed in me for not being nicer to my brother. So I do feel guilty about making him cry, but I do think he should grow up a bit and rely on his own friends, rather than just clinging on to me and trying to embarrass me in front of someone I like. Am I the arsehole? OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the arsehole. I think I may be the arsehole for losing my cool at him and making him cry, though I didn't mean to. Now in the comments, Golden Nebulous says, you're the arsehole. Your brother didn't embarrass you. You embarrassed yourself, and this girl is definitely not going to date you now. Your brother sounds sweet, and you sound like a dud. Jeez, dude. You had the chance to demonstrate to her that you're a caring guy, a good big brother, and have a sense of humor, which are all very appealing traits in my opinion. Instead, you acted insecure, petty, and needlessly cruel. What the hell? I get that you're young and still trying to figure yourself out and what's cool, but those behaviors aren't it. Yes, you're a big arsehole here. You're the arsehole for assuming that your crush who is your age doesn't know what Fortnite or Marvel movies are, for not realizing that being kind to your siblings is something many people find to be a good quality, and being nice to your brother makes you look good, especially when your crush kept trying to engage your brother. You shouldn't have to hang out with your sibling all of the time regardless of age, but once a week isn't a huge deal. I'm so glad you pointed out that bit about Marvel and Fortnite. Those are the two biggest names in media right now, regardless if you actually enjoy them. OP, you're the arsehole for being condescending with a superiority complex. Women and girls enjoy things too. Liking philosophy and rock doesn't make you better than people who like rap and games. You're the arsehole. You embarrassed yourself by being such a crap brother. He's 10 and he probably idolizes you. Being a good brother and being nice isn't going to make you seem uncool or weird. However, being a rude brother and being mean to him will make you seem like a jerk. Whew, yeah, buddy. Your crush didn't say anything because she was mortified. You just made a 10-year-old cry. You're 17. Crushes at your age are not the end-all be-all. But I can guarantee your little brother is going to remember this for years. You're the asshole. And the crazy part is the brother was being the perfect wingman. The crush clearly likes kids, and probably likes people who are good with kids, and OP just shat all over the layup and made everyone uncomfortable. This is Incel IQ 260 in the making. And now on to the update. Sorry for the long update, but I'm not even sure where to begin. I spent hours yesterday reading basically every comment on my original post, and with each one I read, my confidence that I was in the right kept getting lower and lower until eventually I couldn't even read my original post without it sounding like someone else wrote it. Someone who definitely sounded like an asshole. I couldn't believe it was me. I was still thinking about the whole situation and I left my room to go get some water. And as I was passing my brother's room, I heard some sniffling and my mum's voice. I eavesdropped through the door a bit. I know this was probably an invasion of privacy, and I heard my mum tell Ethan something like, No, he doesn't hate you. He's probably just stressed with other things in his life and he took it out on you. That wasn't fair of him, but just remember that he's your brother and he loves you. I immediately ran back to my room and broke down crying. All of the comments replayed in my head about my brother thinking I was his hero and how I broke his heart. I couldn't believe how I acted. Not just with the situation on Sunday, but I've never been the best big brother to him, and he's never really done anything wrong to deserve that. Everything just suddenly became so clear to me. I realized I have unresolved issues, and that my brother has been a victim of that the whole time. I don't want Ethan to grow up with a big brother who is a prick to him. He deserves a lot better than that, and I hate myself for taking so long to realize that and hurting him along the way. I collected myself and went into Ethan's room, as my mum had left his room at this point, and I gave him a huge hug and apologized like I never have before. I told him I loved him and that he didn't deserve how I always dismiss him and say these horrible things. And I told him I didn't mean what I said at the diner and that he was my best friend in the world too. Because when I really think about it, I don't really have friends that I would consider my best friend. So maybe that has been making me resent the fact that my 10-year-old brother, that I don't have much in common with, is the only person I spend enough time with to consider my best friend. But I shouldn't feel that way. I'm lucky to have someone who even likes me and thinks I'm cool. I promised Ethan that I would make it right, and that going forward, things are going to be a lot better between us, and that I really was looking forward to our next Sunday lunch. He was totally cool about everything and just looked so happy to hear me say all this. This whole time, he was just waiting for me to show him some kind of love, and seeing how happy it made him when I finally did just broke my heart, because I kept that away from him for so long. Today after school, I plan on going to Target and spending some of the money I made at my summer job to get him a $100 Fortnite gift card, a superhero t-shirt, and a couple of his favorite snacks. I just feel terrible about everything, and I know I can't just buy his trust again. But I figure that it'll be a step in the right direction. Then I'm gonna come home and ask if we can watch his favorite Marvel movie. My hope is that I can make things better as soon as possible, so that my stupid comment doesn't stick with him too much. Plain and simple, I was acting immature and cruel and stupid. I am the asshole. I was thinking about deleting my original post and just trying to put it behind me, but I think I'll leave it up and look back on it once in a while to remind myself to never treat Ethan like that again. Thanks for all of your comments, everyone, even the mean ones. I needed the wake-up call. Now in the comments, good job on owning up to your mistakes, but I gotta ask, your crush though? Yeah, you probably blew it back at the restaurant, bro. And OP replies, yeah, a lot of the comments said that I blew it with my crush, and you're probably right. I haven't spoken with her since then, but I can imagine that she saw everything she needed to see on Sunday. Not sure what I could really say to her. Reach out and apologize and say, "I'm sorry you saw me act like that. I did a lot of soul searching and realized that I wasn't being fair to my brother. I'm committed to working on my relationship with him and being more patient. I'm embarrassed you saw me behave like that, and I'm sorry. It won't happen again." And then see what she says. If she seems receptive, invite her to go somewhere with you and your brother for ice cream or to the zoo or something fun for your brother. Either way, you've apologized and expressed that you regret your behavior. That would go a long way with me if I were her, especially if your actions supported your words. I will say that you're 17 and you don't need to have your brother go everywhere with you. Of course you want some time with friends, but maybe include him once in a while. Good luck. And OP replies, "Thank you for the advice. I'll do this today." As a mum, although I have a 7-year-old, I'm still old enough to be your mother. I'm extremely proud of you. To acknowledge your feelings and your brother's feelings and owning up to your own mistake is a big step in adulthood. Make sure you spend as much time with him as you can. I'm assuming you'll be going to a college next year, and I do realize that he has different hobbies that you do, and so do you to him. Share why you like classics, and he can share why he likes Fortnite. Do yourself a favor. When you're in college, make some time for FaceTime, email, a text, etc. He will be alone at home, and it'll be different for him not having a big brother watch out for him. By the time he finishes high school, you'll already be starting your post-college career, possibly dating or engaged. And also, give your mum a big hug and give thanks. She's going to cry and be proud of you. That's what mums are for. We are an emotional mess when we see our boys growing up. I wish you and your brother the best. And OP replies, "Thank you for your comment. I talked to my mum this morning about everything, and she did cry and said she was proud of how I turned things around, and she said nothing makes her happier than to see us getting along. I will definitely make time for Ethan going forward, even when I go away to college." Our next post is titled, "Am I the asshole for being strict on leaving at the time that I said we are going to leave?" So my 23 female, boyfriend 25 male, has a history of being late and unprepared to pre-planned events and gatherings. Sometimes it can be annoying, but more often or not, it's really no big deal. Usually when he comes over, he'll say, "I'll be over in an hour." And magically that hour turns into 3 hours. It happened on my birthday when he'd said he'd be over at 10 AM, and he wasn't over until noon. And again when we were going to go out with friends, and 10 minutes before we were supposed to meet, he called me to ask my opinion on a surfboard. He was at a sports store 30 minutes away. Though it can be a bit annoying, it's not like I have a time crunch, and it usually doesn't bother me except for the following time. We took a trip to a place about a 6-hour drive from where we are. We were going to leave right after work at around 6 PM, but we didn't leave until around 10 because he was simply late to come pick me up. It was one of the worst drives because we were both extremely tired. We had to stop at a rest stop to sleep for a couple of hours. We woke up at 4 AM after an awful uncomfy sleep in the back of his car, and my dog peed in the car while we were asleep. We got to our hotel that morning at 8:30/9 AM and slept basically throughout the day, taking away a whole day out of our vacation after a super stressful commute that was much longer than it needed to be, as well as wasted an entire day to just recover. Knowing this, we're going on a trip tomorrow where next week I have to work on site, but we are taking this weekend to vacation. However, this specific trip is known to have awful traffic. Sometimes getting through 26 miles of a part of the stretch can take between 40 minutes and 4 hours if you go at the wrong time. He is aware of this. I told my boyfriend that we're leaving my place at 1 PM to beat the traffic. I would want to go earlier, but I know he is not an early riser. At 1, we're not coming into my place to get some food, or to bring things down to the car or go to the bathroom. We are leaving my driveway at 1 exactly, and no later. Earlier, if possible. When I said this, he got kind of annoyed and was passive-aggressive towards me for the rest of the conversation. I sensed this and told him about how much of our last trip sucked because instead of traveling for 6 hours, we traveled almost 11 hours and then wasted a whole day sleeping it off. He said yeah, he gets it, but that I'm making the trip stressful and it makes him not want to go at all. 4 hours of bumper-to-bumper traffic is so much worse than leaving on time in my opinion, but he says that I'm stressing him out by setting such a strict time with high expectations, which, in his words, gives me asshole-like qualities. Am I the asshole for insisting we leave right at 1? I could be the asshole because I didn't let him choose the time, but he originally wanted us to leave at midnight tonight. This isn't feasible because our Airbnb only checks people in from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m, and I do not want to repeat the events of the last trip. Edit. My car is currently at the shop, so I would not be able to drive on my own this time. Usually we do drive separately to things because we live 30 minutes away from each other, and it takes too much time to pick each other up. And edit 2, he does not have a set time that he has to be at work. He works a salary job, so as long as he puts in 40 hours and gets his stuff done, he can roll in at any time. Now in the comments, not the asshole. However, since your boyfriend has made it clear that he will not change, other than to be passive-aggressive, it is up to you to decide if this is a deal breaker or not, as it would be for me. It would be for me too. Me 3. If you can't count on him, rent a car and remind him that you're leaving at 1, and if he's not ready, that you hope he will join you there. No drama, just statement of fact. Not the asshole. He's not upset that you're being strict, he's upset that you're holding a mirror up to his shitty behavior. Not the asshole. He's stressing you out with his proven past behavior. I'd tell him that if he can't really handle the precise time, you're willing to give him a window, but that window will be from 11 to 1. As someone who has had friendships with the perpetually late, you have a few options here for general life. 1. Always make plans for earlier than you actually want them to happen. You need to leave at 1? Tell him you're leaving at 10. 2. Attempt to get them to understand the issue. If they don't or refuse to change, then you need to decide if you want to be in that relationship knowing that. And 3. Become the person who is able to live with this quirk. And OP replies, most of the time I'm able to live with this quirk. More often than not, his laid-back attitude helps with my anxiety, but it's still frustrating during big trips like this. We did have a conversation about how our last trip sucked, but maybe I need to remind him that it really sucked and have another conversation for him to understand the issue. You said you're able to live with this quirk? No. It's flat out disrespectful, selfish, and inconsiderate of everyone he's late for. Tell him you'll only wait 15 minutes for him, then you're done. If need be, disappear and don't answer. If he gets upset, tell him to be on time. He does understand the issue, he just doesn't care enough about it to change. This. My dad's family was the same as your boyfriend. Every year, my mum hosted both sides of the family for Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve for these amazing dinners. Every year, she would say, dinner is at 6, and every year, they would roll in dribs and drabs, anywhere from 7 to 9. And of course, dinner was destroyed because we'd been holding it for them anywhere from 1 to 4 hours. Everyone else was starving and grouchy, and kids were up way past when they should have been fed and asleep, and were commensurately horrible. She finally had enough, and one Christmas Eve, served dinner promptly at 6. They were shocked when they started arriving at 7, 7:30, 8:15 to find dinner over, or mostly over. The good parts of the turkey eaten, and the kids were already seated in the other room, listening to me read The Night Before Christmas in preparation for Santa to arrive. It's a family tradition we've done since before I was born. What would you know? They were on time the next year. You need to make this disrespectful habit a lot more uncomfortable for your boyfriend if you want change. He's not there for your dinner date? Eat without him. Supposed to meet friends and he hasn't shown up? Go without him. Not there on time to leave for vacation? Leave. He can jolly well figure out how to get himself there or miss out. And now on to the update. Hi, I got a lot of helpful advice on my post, and I'd just like to update the situation. The day of our trip, my boyfriend showed up to my place at 12:30 with only the prompting I told y'all about in the previous post. So I'm glad that even if he was a bit upset about being strict on the time, he definitely showed up and we ended up leaving early at 12:55. As for his chronic lateness, we did talk about it on the road. After thinking about it, it kind of annoyed me that he was late on my birthday and that he was always a couple of hours late when coming over. I told him that those instances made me feel like he didn't respect my time. He said he was extremely sorry and that he's been having a rough time adjusting to traffic and the fact that it takes a lot of time to get anywhere. We live in a large metropolitan area, but we used to live in the Midwest in the middle of nowhere. So from calculating commute time, traffic, and him having alone time, he was just having some trouble. We agreed that his lateness was frustrating and came up with the following solution to hopefully fix the problem. On big road trips like this, we will want to leave exactly on time or earlier. We will plan to meet at each other's place at least 30 minutes to an hour before we leave to make sure that we are on time. On events, like birthdays or outings with friends, he will schedule the event into his phone 30 minutes before he has to be at the event so that if he forgot or lost track of time until that moment, he has some time to drive and be at the event somewhat on time. And when he comes to hang out, instead of just saying, "I'll be over in an hour," because he's a bad ETA estimator, he will say what he plans on doing before coming over so we can both create a better ETA. For example, him. I want to drive home, shower, and pick up groceries before driving to your place. Me. Okay, that sounds like that might take about 2 hours, including travel time. As for people suggesting ADHD, he says he's unsure of where to go for now, but he may look into it, as he and I have never thought that ADHD could be the cause of this, but the time when he was looking at surfboards when he was supposed to be at our meeting place definitely points to this. Thank you for sharing this point of view. We never would have known. I understand for a lot of people, this might have been a breaking point, but honestly, for me, it's one of his only problems. In almost every other aspect of our relationship, he's been nothing but a great boyfriend who loves and supports me and my goals, and as a human being. So although I think some of those opinions are kind of extreme, thank you for your point of view because it did help me put my foot down and have this conversation. And edit to add, I really would like to thank everyone who gave me advice on the ADHD aspect of this. Someone in the comments listed symptoms of their own ADHD, and it sounded exactly like him. I'm also really grateful for all of you who have provided a way to step in a direction to find a diagnosis. We didn't really know where to start, but this whole thread was super helpful. Thank you so much. Anyway guys, I think that's where I'm going to end today's video. If you did like it, tell me what you thought about it down in the comments below, and make sure to just interact with everyone in this community. I love each and every one of you that I get to see on a daily basis. And don't forget, if you are a Patreon subscriber, I love you. You're on the screen right now with the YouTube members as well. If you see yourself, give yourself a pat on the back. You guys help me continue this YouTube journey. You keep me going. I see you guys everywhere. I see your messages, and thank you so much for supporting me. I really love every single one of you. But with that all said, I'm going to be signing off now, guys. I hope you have a good day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.